Okay, guys, just a couple of injury updates. Number one, Zane Gonzalez. Looks like it's a significant long-term injury. He's going to be seen by a specialist, and that will lead to any future decisions that have to be made. But it is a significant injury to his groin, and obviously our thoughts are with Zane at this time. He's a warrior. He'll find a way to battle back, and we'll find out, exactly what the length of that is. Scott and all of our people right now are working on getting some guys in and figuring out what our options are in the interim. Secondly, in terms of Sam, Sam had his MRI today. He does have a high ankle sprain. In terms of the length of that, we're not sure of the exact length. We've sent those images to specialists to try to gauge it. But again, that does look like a significant injury that could take some time. So with that, Gio Ritchie also. Gio is in getting the MRI now, so we'll know. It doesn't seem to be as significant as those other injuries. And Derek Brown and those guys came out of the game okay. So with that, I'll see what questions you have.
Great. Thanks, Coach. Everybody should be familiar with the process. Please raise your hand if you have a question. And with that, we'll start with Skylar Callahan.
Hey, Matt. Derek's had a pretty good outing yesterday. He had that sack and then another pressure right after that before he got hurt. So what have you seen from him this preseason? What do you guys need from him going into year 3?
Derek's been an impact player in the run game. It was great to see him, get involved in the passing game. We have great edge rushers. We want to have an interior presence. We want to push the pocket. I thought he had great hand violence yesterday. His feet were always moving. We're always working with Derek on his pad level just to continue to get him underneath the offensive lineman and lift those guys, use his leverage. And I think it showed up last night. So it was really, really good to see.
Okay, let's go next to Jason Brown, followed by David Duke.
Thank you, Ryan. Hey, Coach, thanks for the time today. You still do have 2 healthy quarterbacks in Baker Mayfield and P.J. Walker. So I know you've said many times you still want as much depth at that position as possible. But where does that sort of, put the urgent need to add a quarterback to the roster as, we get closer to, obviously, cut down day, but then, of course, also setting your roster for the start of the season?
Yeah, I think, obviously we have 2 quarterbacks. Normally we would go into the season with 2. Sam, I think he will be back. It's just a matter of how many weeks it is. So, like every position, we'll look at every option. Scott does a great job of that. But we spent a lot of time training these guys in this particular offense, and we'll continue to just build off what we've done. And we have a lot of decisions. I left Scott's office on the way down here, and I'll probably go right back there. We're working through every position and all the things that are important this time of the year.
Hey, Coach, David Newton here. Are you confident enough? I know PJ's started a few times the last couple of years. Are you confident enough in PJ as the backup until Sam's back and ready?
Yeah, I thought, listening to Ben talk today, we had our staff meeting. I thought, Ben and Sean were really pleased with the way PJ came in and played last night, especially after a tough outing last week. Turned the ball over twice last week or 3 times, whatever it was. Came back in this week, good decision making, has a good command of the offense. I think when he's out there, the guys play. They rally around him. So, it's my job always to coach the guys that we have. Whoever's there and put them in the best positions. And PJ's, he's done a good job this training camp and this season with the limited amount of reps that he's gotten. So. Like I said, we'll examine every option, but I know Coach McAdoo, Coach Ryan, myself, we all have a lot of confidence in what PJ can bring, and really for him, it's always been just eliminating the 1 or 2 bad decisions and protecting the football, and it was good to see him kind of do that last night.
And how tough, as far as what you're going to do moving forward, quarterback? I mean, would Sam go on IR after you make the cuts, or how do you envision that happen?
I don't know yet. I don't know the extent of the injury. If it is a major injury, if it's at least a 4-game injury, we can put him on the short-term IR designated to return. Obviously, Sam's a huge part of this team. So, we'll just kind of wait and see, how long it's going to take him, and then make that decision if we're carrying him or if we're putting him on IR once the doctors have weighed in.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Let's go to Joe Person, please.
Hey, Matt, sorry, I was having some audio issues when you were talking about Zane. Is that season ending?
As I said, you didn't hear it, but it's going to be significant, Joe. How long it goes, we're going to wait and see what he says from the specialist. Don't know that yet, but it does look pretty significant.
And you guys, there's some kickers out there you guys have experience with. That would those guys make sense, or do you kind of wait for cuts to happen?
I think in full disclosure, obviously, Tabor, Coach Tabor's working on it. There's some guys out there that are accomplished kickers. I think there's 5 or 6 teams, that we have to wait and see what happens with their rosters, and there's some guys that are out there. So everything from probably working guys out to looking at who's out there, we're gonna have to attack it, because this is obviously is a major thing for us. Zane was kicking great, and so we'll have to rally around somebody. So we're just kind of exploring all those different paths right now.
And last thing, Matt, you mentioned how tough this is for Zane. Any concern that this injury last night might have been connected to the one from December?
I have not. I don't know that. I've not been. No one's ever mentioned that to me, so I don't know. I'm sorry.
Chris Jenkins, please.
Hey, Coach, thanks for the time. Austin Larkin on your defense was a guy that had a decent night last night, including having a sack. Similar to a question Skylar had earlier, just what have you seen from him, and what does he need to do to continue to be a good contributor for this team on that edge? Because I know you guys want a little bit of depth there.
Austin's been, he's been a valuable guy for us really since the 2020 season. He can play multiple positions. The biggest thing is he's a high effort guy. He's a tough guy. He plays really, really hard. He's truly like the brand of football player that we love to coach, and teammates love to play with. So he tries to do everything right. He takes care of his body at a high level. I can't say enough great things about him. It was good to see him get in there last night, and have some production. And he's had production at other times because he, as I said, he does things right and plays really, really hard.
Let's go to Steve Reed, then back to Skylar Callahan.
Hey, Matt. I wonder if you could give us some clarity on what Zane Gonzalez's injuries is. I mean, did he tear his groin? What can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, I'll just leave it at he's got a groin injury, a significant groin injury. I don't want to violate how he wants to say it, so I don't know how he wants to say it. I had a chance to see him this morning, and but since I've been updated by the doctors, I haven't even had a chance to talk to him. I literally was updated just before we got in here. So I don't want to say anything. Hopefully you guys understand that.
And both players did have MRIs. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Matt, 2 more for you real quick. With Bozeman, I think you said that he was going to be coming back this week. Is the expectation that he could be ready to go by week 1? And then secondly, I know you've talked about Cam Irving a lot. What major strides have you seen him make that really has made him pop out in preseason?
Yeah, Cam has had a great preseason. He's played with dominant hands. That's one of the areas. He's such a great athlete, but getting him to really be physical and heavy-handed. He had some great finishes last night. There was a time, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd drive, where Timo had a helmet issue and Cam ran out there, and just that confidence knowing that, hey, he can go in there and play at any moment, right tackle, left tackle. Cam's a true pro. We have team meetings sometimes, and I ask a question, situational football, and I have to tell him, like, hey, you're not allowed to answer, because that's how much football Cam Irving knows. And I think he's had a great camp. Whereas last year he was like in the 295 range, he's now in the 315 range. So I think he's done a lot of work to really help the team. You also asked about, I'm sorry, Skylar.
Bozeman.
Yeah, Bozeman. I think he'll integrate back into practice this week. So the anticipation is that depending on how things go as we sit here right now, we hope and believe that he'll be ready for game week.
Thank you.
Sure.
Go ahead, Joe. Okay, Chris Jenkins.
Hey, Coach. I'm not sure. Have you said when Zane actually sustained that injury from last night?
He was kicking in the net during the game.
So it was when he was on the sidelines?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else for Coach? Joe, I see your hand up. That might have been me.
No, I meant to ask. Matt, there was a report, NFL Network, that Sam is 4 to 6 weeks. Is that jibe with what you've heard?
Yeah, I can't confirm that yet. It is a significant injury, Joe. So I can't say that it wouldn't at least be 4 weeks, but it could be anything right now in terms of that hasn't been said to me yet like that. So yeah, we're sending it off. We sent the films off to the specialist, and we'll wait to see what they say.
Anything else for Coach Rhule?
I was curious what the schedule is this week, Matt, and might you guys start making cuts, prior to Tuesday?
I think the plan right now, tentatively, is to wait till Tuesday. The guys came in for medical checks today. They're off tomorrow, as league rules. The day after or 2 days after every game have to be off. We'll practice on Monday. I'll give them Tuesday off. You don't have to, but I'll give them the off on the cut day, and then we'll practice Wednesday, Thursday before the new league rules are. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, guys are off. So they'll practice Monday, Wednesday, Thursday this week, and then we'll come back next Monday and get ready to go.
Looks like we got a couple more questions. David, then Jason Brown.
Yeah, Matt, you said significant with Sam. Can you elaborate? Was it what grade of sprain it was or anything?
I don't have the grade. I'm sorry, I haven't been told that. I was just told a high ankle sprain. So, but I just know our doctors and our medical people do not yet know the range of weeks. So I can't confirm any report.
Matt, obviously these latest injuries sort of set aside, what is your assessment of the health of your roster as you now have this, extended time to sort of get these guys ready for the opening of the season?
Yeah, we've talked mainly about the injuries, which is, I understand, but I thought a lot of guys played good football last night. Obviously on offense, we get Ian Thomas back this week. I think, hopefully Gio's healthy, but Tommy and Sully have played well for us at tight end. At receiver, DJ only played 2 plays last night. Robbie should be ready to go this week. So, we'll get some of our playmakers back. Christian obviously is healthy. I thought Baker played well last night. The offensive line, I thought, settled in. So there's a lot of things that are really positive. Special teams wise, I think we've been doing a nice job. And so we have a lot of hard decisions to make, in terms of the roster, which I think speaks to the health of the roster and how much improvement we've made. There's still some areas where we're trying to make some decisions and figure out, hey, who's the depth guy here. But in terms of kind of like our starters and where we are with everything, I think we feel really good about those guys. So as you saw last night, it's a long season. There will be injuries. We have to do a great job. We take our practice squad very seriously. We have to develop those guys because a lot of those guys will play late in the year. You look next year, and some of the guys will be on practice squad could be helping you, like Sully's doing right now. So I think the overall health of the roster in terms of the depth of it is good. There's some areas we have to address, and I think we're a pretty healthy team, save a couple things that happened unfortunately last night.
Yeah, because I know before last night you were, obviously tight end you had some guys that were dinged. I mean, not too serious, but I mean, as you get closer to the season, you want certain rooms to be as healthy as you possibly can. So it sounds like you don't have as much fear about being up to speed as much as you would like with the first game coming up.
Yeah, I think we went into last night's game with Matt Corral being the only guy that was ruled out of the first game. So obviously now with Sam and with Zane, that changes that, and then we have some other guys, with some injuries. With Gio, we're still waiting on. So there's some things that happened as of last night. So we'll have to wait and see that. But the vast majority of our team is healthy and ready to go, and so it'll be a total team effort. Week 1 through all the way through.
Anything else for Coach? Okay, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks, y'all.